All right, so welcome back to the challenge. In this video, I want to share a little bit of a more advanced technical breakdown of the buyer journey and psychology, whether they are leads that come in through inbound or outbound, and how do you kind of navigate the different contexts and the conversational flows so that you're converting more leads, you're getting more clients. All right? So, I also want to address objections because a lot of people always ask, how do you deal with objections? All right. So, first things first. When it comes to your conversational flow, the checklist and the key questions remain the same. It's after, obviously, is the prospect a fit? It's what's the problem? What does the prospect want? What is blocking them? And what's the solution and next steps? Okay, that's roughly the 4 key questions. Okay? And if you properly go from stage to stage and you ask these questions, by the end of the conversation, when it's time to discuss next steps and whether or not the prospect is going to be working with you or not, and is making a decision, if they still have objections, then you didn't follow the process, because the process naturally eliminates objections, and it gives the prospect clarity on why their objections no longer exist, right? So for example, one of the biggest objections is, well, I can't afford it, okay? Now, first of all, I can't afford it typically is a smokescreen for a different objection, meaning the prospect really means to say that they don't see the value in their solution because they have $5,000 or $10,000 or $50,000, but they don't want to spend the money because they don't see the value. So they're saying I can't afford it, but what they really mean is I don't see the value in the solution. So in this sales process, if you properly mapped the gap between the problem and the outcome, and you gained their commitment and you gave them clarity on your solution properly, then they're going to see how the value will generate a return on their investment, right? And so in one of the earlier steps, we have the offer blueprint worksheet, right? And so this document is designed to eliminate objections, right? We have the return on investment over 90 days, 365 days, and a lifetime. We have the quantitative ROI, the qualitative ROI, the retail market value, right? So all of these things are very intentionally designed to eliminate objections, okay? So if you structure your offer properly and you go through this conversational flow properly, the chances of you having objections are very, very low, and if you're still getting objections, you're not implementing this properly, okay? That being said, I want to now cover some of the nuances around how do you handle outbound leads versus inbound leads, because those are very different. So, first, let's start with inbound, because inbound leads are the best. You know, these are people that come to you, whether it's from a referral or Google or they see content or whatever it is. And so these are warmer leads, and they're typically going to sign up faster, and they're typically a lot warmer, right? So here's how it works when somebody comes in that is a warm lead. All right. Now, in this case, let's say that you posted your no-brainer offer on Facebook and you have somebody commenting saying, hey, I'm interested. All right. So what you do is, hey, I'm here to get in touch with you about what you requested. Are you currently, let's say you're selling an advertising offer, are you currently advertising on Facebook? Or are you currently spending $5,000 a month on Facebook ads? Right? You want to have a primary qualifying question. And then, based on what they tell you, you provide the value that you promised. So let's say your NBO was an audit, right? It's like, okay, great. So here's the audit, or here's how I'm going to do the audit. Here's how we're going to do the audit, whatever it is. And if you're interested, we can set up a call to dive deeper or whatever it is, right? And then, if they are qualified and they're interested, then that's when you want to set and confirm the call. Okay? So, let's recap, right? The lead comes in, you ask a qualifying question. Hey, got your request. I'm going to share it with you. I just had a quick question. Are you currently spending $5,000 a month on Facebook ads or not? Okay, they're going to say yes or no. Then, based on what they say, you customize the value that you are providing to them and invite them to a quick call. If they're interested, set and confirm the call. And then if they attend and you get the deal, awesome. If not, if they don't show up, rebook and go back to this stage, right? So that's how you handle an inbound lead. Pretty straightforward, okay? This is how you handle an outbound lead. Now again, outbound leads are you contacting them, okay? You can also do outbound to inbound leads. For example, somebody comes in and let's say on Instagram, you can contact them on email and say, hey, I got your request, just wanted to follow up here, blah, 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 blah. All right, so that's another way to kind of re-engage or get leads engaged. So, when it comes to the outbound response, first step is to qualify. Are they qualified? Yes or no. If they're not qualified, ask them for a referral. Doesn't hurt. Win-win. If you get something, if nothing, whatever. If they are qualified, next you want to classify their response. Okay? So when it comes to outbound, there's going to be a bucket of typical responses, which is either a not qualified response, which you already covered, an objection, an information request, interest, like, okay, I'm interested, or it's just going to be kind of like a neutral, non-response. Okay? Based on the type of response, you're going to have a predefined response template for that message. All right? And if you upgrade, we will give you all of these predefined responses for every scenario. We'll give you the template for all those. You can generate it in minutes with AI, so pretty cool. But once you classify the response, you give them the right reply. Then you qualify their interest level. If they're interested, then you set and confirm the details. Okay? But the outbound route is, there's just an extra step because you're reaching out to them. And so what you're going to do, if there's interest, is you're going to set up time, you're going to confirm details, you're going to provide value, and you're going to schedule a quick 10, 15-minute qualifying conversation just to see if there's a fit. Then after that initial qualification conversation, and you can also potentially do that through email or DM, then you schedule a conversion conversation where you're actually going to have a live call, and if they are a fit, invite them to work with you. All right, so that's just a more kind of technical breakdown. And let me show you, here we go, perfect. Let me just show you some real examples of conversations. All right. Yeah, so these are just some like previous previous replies we got from campaigns. So like open to a call. All right, so let's go back to this. Open to a call is show interest. So if there's interest, you go down and you set up a time. Done. That's how we decide kind of like the decision tree here. Feel free to send over the offer deck. Okay, so that's not quite interest, that's more of an information request. Okay, so in that case, we're going to send a customer reply. Sure, here's the information. Is this something that you guys are actively working on right now, kind of thing? That's a qualifying interest question. So we give them the customer reply, and then we qualify again for interest. I've never actually thought about doing that. Okay, so that's kind of a neutral message here. So again, we're going to send a customer reply, and then again, a qualifying interest question. It's like, okay, never thought about doing that. Well, based on your background, I think this was actually a campaign for podcast production. So it's like, well, based on what I'm seeing on your profile, you have 20 years experience in the industry. I'm sure people would find value in a podcast by you. Is it worth a 10-minute chat to discuss, the possibilities kind of thing. Okay? And then this person was saying, nope, it would not change my priorities. Thanks, though. So that's a pretty hard negative. It's like, all right, no problem, right? So that's a not qualified here. And then we're going to ask for a referral. Hey, no problem. Do you happen to know anybody in the market for podcast production, if that's the offer, right? And yeah, I think that's a good enough number of examples. So yeah, that's that. That's like a more technical, detailed breakdown of lead conversion and how to structure your conversations based on outbound or inbound and context. All right, so I hope you found that valuable. Again, if you want to implement all this a lot faster with AI and build it out in minutes, just upgrade. But if not, download all these resources, go through them, build it out, and you should be able to get through a lot of this on your own. All right, so hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.